Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Pundits. I'm Andy. This is Aidan on that side, and Sean back again to pretend to know about football for another week. Boys, another week down, another happy result all around for Arsenal, Villa, and United. What a weekend of football it's been as well. We've got this week Premier League review as always. We've got a review of the cup competitions. We're going to have a little bit more of a talk about the England squad selected for the Euro qualifiers. And then we've got a bad week for managers. Ben Ray, welcome in, dude. Loved watching Tottenham snatch a draw from the jaws of victory this weekend. I tell you what, that's a brilliant place to start. But first of all, Aidan and Sean, how are you doing, guys?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Pretty
good. Good week, apart from crashing out of Europe and having to watch 120 minutes of that and penalties. But yeah, all in all, a pretty good week.
Yeah, good. Aidan?
Yeah, all right, mate. Living the dream as always. Obviously, a nice little weekend of football for the Villa, so I can't complain. But yeah, overall, I'm a happy boy this week.
Excellent. Right, I'm so buzzing to get into this week's episode. We've had a little bit of fun today. We've kissed and made up. Me and Sean, we had a bit of a disagreement earlier. If you don't know already, we are starting a new series, or we've started a new series called Pretend 11s. So if you head over to the channel, you can find them. We've done so far all-time Premier League 11. Our most hated 11, and we filmed a couple more today, just to give the listeners a little sneak peek. One of them is going to be an overrated current 11 from the Prem, and also it was all-time Premier League 11 to have never won a Premier League. So they're coming up. So if you're not already, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, turn notifications on, and as soon as it goes live, which is every Wednesday, you'll get a notification straight to your phone or device. Lovely. Let's kick it off then. Premier League review. I've got pictured the Leeds players because for me that was the game of the weekend. But let's start off with the point that you made there, Ben, about Tottenham snatching a draw. It finished 3-3. And the biggest thing that sticks out for me in that game was the third goal for Southampton and that penalty decision. Sean, you saw it. You are. Oh, he's admitting it. He's admitting it. I was gonna say take your Arsenal hat off for a minute, but I respect that fully. Soft penalty. That's probably the softest penalty that I have seen given this season.
Don't get me wrong, seeing an Arsenal player win it was nice, but incredibly soft. Very, very soft penalty.
Yeah, and Tottenham. The thing that surprised me about that game is the goals were good. Perisic's goal to make it 3-1, he didn't celebrate. It was almost like there was something in the air that made them think, we're going to do a full Spurs here and just lose points. And they did.
The history of the Tottenham.
It's typical Spurs, isn't it?
As summarised by Antonio Conte in his absolute meltdown that he had. We'll talk about that at the end. As I say, a bad week for managers. But yeah, Tottenham dropping points. I'm so glad that that's happened as a United fan, because obviously top four is not guaranteed as much as I thought it was. You just have to be very, very careful. Newcastle bottling games, Tottenham bottling games. That's just music to my ears, to be honest.
Yeah.
Probably music to the ears of Liverpool fans as well.
Newcastle won on Friday, didn't they?
Yeah, that's it. Newcastle won against Wolves. A bit of a precarious game for
Forest.
Nick Pope again.
Oh, no, sorry. Forest.
It was Forest, you're right, sorry. Yeah. A bit of a precarious game. They'd probably expect a bit of a better result. But going away from home on a Friday night and getting a win is just what they needed to bounce back. Yeah. What game stuck out for you the most this weekend, Aidan? Apart from Villa.
Apart from Villa?
No, you can say Villa if you like.
No, I won't say Villa. Probably Chelsea-Everton. I think Chelsea-Everton. I was praying, like, I never want Everton to win. I'm not a fan of Everton. But if they won that game, that'd have seen us go above Chelsea. But unfortunately, they snatched a draw. But I don't know. I think Everton are starting to. I think they might surprise a few people. I think they might manage it. I know I said they're going to go down, and I had no faith in Sean Dyche, but I don't know. I've got faith in them. They didn't seem to play too bad. They didn't seem to play too bad. Just obviously Chelsea are finding their form now, aren't they? So
picking up points away from home for Everton is absolutely massive. And it was a young lad, Ellis Sims, who scored the equaliser. So massive point for Everton, like you say, going away to Chelsea and getting a result, especially when Chelsea had a bit of an upturn in form. You might expect them to get more. This week they obviously got Real Madrid drawn out against them in the Champions League, so maybe they're terrified of that a little bit. The thing that stuck out for me the most about that game was Graham Potter's interview after the game, and I think he'll be looking back and saying, why on earth did I say that? He said, obviously, we're disappointed because we wanted to win the game. Yes, Graham, that is very much how football works. And I'm thinking, right, okay, let's go back. Graham Potter is just given some wild press conference interviews, and some of the stuff he comes out with is almost like he's just happy to be there at this stage.
It's like he's had no media training, because normally you see players that come out after matches and it's like, it's a terrific game and played really well. But Graham Potter has no filter. He's like, fucking excellent game.
Where was he when he said, let's win the fucking Champions League? What was that?
Yeah.
I see that clip circulated around this week and I was like, what are you talking about? You're about to play Real Madrid and get destroyed.
Was that at the London Awards? Somebody was interviewing him at the London Awards or something?
No, they didn't even turn up to that, did they? Surely.
Did they not?
I don't know. I wouldn't turn up if I was a Chelsea player or anything to do with Chelsea. I wouldn't turn up to the London Awards.
That's because you wouldn't have won anything at the Chelsea Awards, at the London Awards. Even it was all rigged for Arsenal players, I think.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. But I'd hate to be a Chelsea fan right now. Honestly, it would be painful. We'll talk about their hopes of the Champions League in the next segment. What game stuck out for you, Sean, the most today? This weekend, even?
This weekend was the Leeds Wolves game. I thought they were incredible, and having a player sent off from the bench as well. You don't see that very often. So you see everything in the Premier League, don't you?
Well, yeah, I didn't. What was it all about? Wasn't it Adam Traore was fouled and then he sort of stopped and then Leeds carried on and he wasn't happy about it.
Yeah, just in this
typical Leeds then.
Yeah, typical. I was going to say, because they did it against Villa, didn't they, in the Championship?
Yeah. Bielsa made him score a goal.
Yeah.
Don't think it was a foul though on Adama Traore. He's built like a shithouse. He should be able to cope with that.
Yeah, he probably fell over because of his grease. Probably slipped in his own grease.
That just reminds me of that incident. Can you remember that incident with Rob Holding? When
it is, when that's why I said
it. There was no crowd, so the microphone picked up everything they were saying. They're like, "How's it gone down there? He's built like a brick shithouse."
I remember that.
I love that. But
it is proper northern voice.
As much as it's a shitty thing to do from Leeds, there's no whistle, so you play to the whistle.
Yeah,
I mean. Yeah, that shows a lack of discipline from the player as well to get sent off from the bench, and he's one of their top players as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Nunes?
Was it Mateus Nunes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big loss.
So to get sent off when you're not on the pitch is a big lack of discipline. He won't be happy with that. I don't know if that incurs a 1-match ban or a 3-match ban. We'll have to see. Ben Ray says the 2 most boring clubs in London, Chelsea and Tottenham, become the most drawy team to exist. I think you could probably put them together and rival Newcastle, play them against each other. It would be a 0-0 draw, wouldn't it? We know it. Joe says United had an upturn in form, then got humbled 7-0 by Liverpool. I think Joe's living off that 7-0 for breakfast dinner.
Yeah.
It's 2 dominant teams, and then there's the rest of the league. I think that would be fair to say. I think it's very close. The bottom of the table is very, very close. We've been saying this every single week, and I'll continue to say it. How close it is Leeds have gone after that game. I think they've gone from 19th to 14th. So,
oh wow,
or 18th were they? I can't remember, but yeah, massive win for Leeds. Some really good goals in that game as well. Wolves on the fight back. It was 3-0 at one point. And the game itself was just exciting. There was another point about that game. I can't remember what it was.
They had 2 red cards, didn't they, in that game?
Yeah, Johnny's goal was good.
Yeah.
He got the card changed to red. That was a really bad challenge. Christian's goal and Ayling's goal were particularly good, I thought.
They'd only just subbed on that Christensen.
Yeah, I don't like Ayling, but we was playing COD at the weekend, wasn't we? And your mate was saying about Leeds, about Luke Ayling, and I was like, shut up, Luke Ayling. He's just shit. He's bang average, but...
What was with that celebration as well? That was so weird. He pulled out the was it Robbie Keane that did the front roll and then the pow pow pow?
Yeah, he did the exact same celebration. Like you sent that fixture from last year, didn't you, Aid?
Yeah,
he did that celebration when he scored in that game as well. I don't know what the celebration is all about, but
just weird.
I know it's very weird. There must be a story behind it. If anyone knows, let us know. Joe said,
yeah, I'd imagine there will be.
It's horrible this year. Not enjoyed the Prem at all. I think it's been a good year. I think I don't know.
It's certainly been different.
It's been a bad start. Like, are you saying that, Joe, from like a Villa perspective? Because obviously, if you look at it from your own team's perspective, then it's going to be hard because obviously you've started with a manager who you've sacked. So it's never going to be a great season for you anyway. But if you look at it on the whole, I think there's been some great games. I mean, there's been surprises.
Mm-hmm. Nobody thought Arsenal would be where they were. They are.
No one saw that.
A lot of surprises this year. A lot of surprises.
I think you're getting good. I don't know what the right saying is. Bang for your buck, maybe. There's a lot of the games that I wouldn't even dare to watch. Like if Bournemouth and Leicester was playing next week, I would not care in the slightest because that would be probably one of the most boring games ever.
Yeah.
Oh, it was you, Joe, that said it, was it? Oh, I thought it was... Who was it with us? Henry?
Henry, the Leeds fan. The Leeds fan.
Okay.
He's fucking obsessed with Luke Hayden anyway.
So,
fucking hell.
Other results then, Brentford won, Leicester won, and that was it that we haven't covered really. Obviously, Arsenal today.
Yeah.
A dominant game, you said on TikTok, Sean.
Massive, yeah. We were so dominant in that game. And the only goal that we conceded was just a bit of a sloppy set piece.
Mm-hmm.
Schlupp kind of he ducked down into it, kind of touched the underside of his arm, and then he took it. But yeah, we were just in complete control. I was surprised as well because I genuinely thought, I know I put a match prediction saying that we were going to win, but I thought that we would lose today because I thought that Crystal Palace would be on their new manager bounce, not having a manager. Maybe you kind of, once you get rid of a manager that's kind of toxic in the dressing room, the team kind of performs, but that didn't happen today. If anything, they look worse this weekend. Yeah, and it was nice. I think Trossard was phenomenal from the first minute until he went off. I think Xhaka was complete. Odegaard looked fresh and tidy, and with every pass that he was making, we didn't even look like we missed Saliba because Rob Holding had Wilfried Zaha in his pocket all day.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the highlights, I saw the early chant from Zaha, and there's just one thing I do want to pick up from that game, and it's something I really love, and it's a mentality that you see in the winningest teams. You saw it even in Fulham today. It's something I've noticed with Man United this season and from Arsenal, how annoyed they were when that Schlupp goal went in. Like, you're 3-0 up, you've not really got a chance of losing this game when you look at it honestly, and they are fuming. And I'd absolutely love to see that. Obviously, I don't like to see other teams winning, but I love to see that mentality from the players. I don't think you see that much anymore at Man City. It's something you always used to see with Liverpool, but just celebrating little things, celebrating a clearance, celebrating an interception or a block, or just little things, just celebrating. I do love to see that. And Ramsdale was rightly fuming at that goal because it was a very scrappy one to concede.
Yeah.
Easy 3-0 Aiden yesterday for Villa.
Say so, mate. Say so. I called it early on. I thought was going to get a nice little win. I thought 2-0. Yeah. The only one I was really worried about with these guys was Billings. He's been on fire, hasn't he, recently? I think we can all agree on that. But I think he's their biggest threat. And in the past when we've played him, he tends to bite us in the arse quite a bit. But Now I think we performed quite well. Clean sheet. Emi Martinez now, if he gets a clean sheet against Chelsea, he breaks the record for the most clean sheets in the first 100 appearances for Aston Villa. He's equalled the record with Mark Bosnich and Brad Friedel. So,
oh wow,
yeah, big record for him. So that was nice for him. All round, yeah, great performance. Douglas Luiz. I see Unai Emery is like really fond of Dougie Luiz, so it's nice to see that he's getting a bit of recognition now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying that was the best game he's had since Unai's been there. Ramsey playing again. Shane Watkins didn't get on the score sheet. Apparently he's missed another sitter, but can't score every week, can he? Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, overall, mate, buzzing. I'm really happy. It's a big 3 points that we needed. It means we can carry on chasing that top half finish. Keeps us close to Chelsea. Hopefully we've got Chelsea next, so if we can get a result there, that'd be nice.
Yeah, Joe's in the chat making a good point that 4 points behind Liverpool is not bad at all. You can, with a good run, there's absolutely nothing stopping you from sneaking into the European spots.
Yeah, no, I fully agree.
You're on a point behind Fulham, same points as Chelsea. Fulham, obviously, we'll talk about that in a minute, but they've got 2 red cards to deal with domestically now. Are they going to go on a bit of a downward spiral after that? Can you catch them up? Brentford only managing draws against Leicester now. Brighton are still looking quite good. So you never know, as we say.
Yeah, it's possible, mate. It's very close. It's very tight up there between, I think, 10th and 6th.
Yeah, there's a very clear divide.
I think it's pretty close up till 6th, I believe.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but
no, you're spot on. We'll get the Prem table up now on the screen, so you can see that if you were to segment, obviously you've got Arsenal and Man City who are the title contenders.
Yeah.
You've got Man United, Tottenham, and Newcastle is in the front runners for top 4. Liverpool if they go on another good run.
Yeah.
But then, like you say, from 7th to 11th, so that's Brighton, Brentford, Fulham, Chelsea, Villa. They could all go either way. But then you've got the relegation battle, which is just crazy. 27 points Palace in 12th, 23 points Southampton in 20th. 4 points between them all.
Mental.
This is...
Where do you think Villa would sit if Unai Emery was there from the very beginning of the season?
That's a great question.
If Unai was here from the start of the season?
Yeah.
Honestly, I reckon we'd be 6th or 5th.
Ooh.
I really think we do.
Because I don't think that's a far-fetched thing to say either, considering some of the games that... What games stick out for you under Gerrard that you can remember specifically for the wrong reasons?
Fucking hell, so many.
I always think like this, and I hate that I think like this, because obviously we're now out of the title race, but when we were like 5 points behind City, you think to that the game against Crystal Palace where we conceded very late on for it to be 1-1, the game against Newcastle at home where it was 0-0 and we had tons more chances than them, and you just take them and turn them, that's 4 points, and you know it's such a massive difference to make.
Literally is.
So Gerrard, for example, this season, he played 11 games, won 2, drew 3, and lost 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that right? No, where's the other? There's 2 games missing there. Oh no, that is sorry, that's 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's such a poor return, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's in a sense it's a shame because when he first came, I know there's obviously that new manager spell that you get that clubs go on this good run, but when he came in, we was actually playing like exciting football for the first couple of weeks, and then it just I don't know what happened. Like he just kept changing it every week, different formation, different players, different style of football, and it's like, what are you doing? Like you don't know what you're doing as a tactical manager. And then obviously Unai's come in, and it's just masterclass. I saw a video yesterday of Matty Cash in an interview, and he says after every game, the next morning he'll call all the players in, and he sits down and he has a 2-hour meeting with the full team, analysing every single detail of the game. Every player, and he'll send off a player individually with a coach on a one-to-one session, telling them what they need to improve on and everything. He said it's just completely different to Unai Emery as it was with Gerrard.
Yeah, I think
like the detail he puts in.
I think they're good. I like to hear little things like that about managers. It's always good to hear because obviously there's so much goes on behind the scenes of a football club, but them little differences can be massive.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember who it was that said it about one of the Man United coaches. I think his name's Eric Ramsey, and just said that he needs to be praised a lot more for Rashford's upturn and Sancho's time out and coming back, because his one-to-one sessions are just unmatched, and they've never had stuff like that.
Wow.
There was a famous story about Jose Mourinho when he was at United, that he would just call players at random times of the day.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I think Jesse Lingard said, like, just one day he'd get a FaceTime just randomly off Mourinho, and he's like, "You're right, Jesse. Like, you're good."
Yeah, Jesse Lingard would
Just
ring
chatting.
him and go, "Oh, you're right, Jesse." He'd go, "Yeah, you. What's up?" And he'd go, "Oh, nothing. Where's Marcus?" And he'd go, "Oh, I don't know." And he'd go, "All right, see you later." And
Lingard goes back to dancing.
Yeah, just dancing around.
And yeah, it's just I love hearing little things like that. I don't care who it's about, but it's just little things like that. They're just funny little stories.
Yeah.
I love that, Joe. Alex Ferguson used to play geese flying through the sky before games. Yes,
What?
we had this in one of my old jobs. It's a teamwork thing about how geese fly. You know how geese fly in a V formation.
In the V formation, yeah.
Alex Ferguson used to say this. Basically, they use each other and how each person in the team relates. It was I don't bloody know the full story of it, but essentially, the flight path of geese is helped by the person in front of them, and if one's out of formation, how it
Then it all goes
affects
to
the whole
shit.
thing. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think Fergie had a combination of understanding how to make teams work and also just being a scary motherfucker. Like, you wouldn't want to get on his wrong side.
Yeah, launching a boot at your face. Do you know what I mean?
What else we got? Ben, April is going to be a telling month for the relegation battle. West Ham have 3 6-pointers, Southampton, Palace, Bournemouth. Honestly, that table is just mental. The shifts that there's been, like I said, Leeds now up in 14th. Everton in 15th. Forest were 12th a couple of weeks ago. So it's all going on. Leicester haven't got a win in their last 5. Forest are without a win in their last 5. Palace are without a win in their last 5. And it's all to play for the next few games. Joe, you're absolutely right about Liverpool's next games. We knew that after Real Madrid, they had a hard run. Man City away, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Leeds away.
Oh, nice run for Liverpool.
0 points.
Not at all. We did have a prediction, didn't we? Obviously, Fulham, they was due to play Fulham this weekend, but it was the FA Cup. Other games that were postponed today was Manchester United versus Brighton, which ironically enough is now the next round in the FA Cup, and Man City versus West Ham, which we missed out on today. And as we will bang on forevermore, play the fucking games on TV, for God's sake. Al Jazeera TV again for Sean today.
Yeah.
2 games scheduled to be on Super Sunday, cancelled for the FA Cup. Just put them on Sky. Just put them on Sky.
Yeah, literally.
Drives me so mad.
It's ridiculous.
Fucking Super Sunday.
Yeah, it's some TV rights bollocks, but just give the football fans the games. You can get all the games if you're in South Africa or Australia or New Zealand, not the actual country where the games are being played. You can get them. Ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah, moving on then. FA Cup, UEFA Champions League and Europa League. We obviously had the concluding fixtures this week and the draw. Since we did our last podcast on Sunday, Erling Haaland has scored 8 goals. Man City have scored 13 goals, and Haaland scored 8 of them in these competitions. So
horrible.
He deservedly is pictured in this segment. 42 goals he's now got for Man City, and there's 11 league games to go, and however long they go in the Champions League and FA Cup. Talk to me about Haaland, boys. What do we do to stop him?
You can't. Like at the start of the season, I said the biggest battle that I'm looking forward to this season was going to be Haaland versus Van Dijk. I don't think he's even bothered about Van Dijk.
Haaland doesn't know who that is.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure he's still got Van Dijk in his pocket somewhere. It's mental.
It's a fucking big pocket.
Genuinely a goal machine. This guy is just bred for goals and only goals. He knows where to be, where not to be. He's the perfect instinct striker, who is rapid and can beat the offside trap with ease.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Other than running with the ball, there is nothing he can't do.
Then even running with the ball, he can't dribble.
No,
he'll just knock it past him, just run past him because he's that quick and that strong. He's just powerful.
Mm-hmm. Dribbling is the only thing I haven't seen from him. But
yeah, dribbling is not his speciality.
It's like you say, that first goal, the one that sticks out, you mentioned it before we started, was that first goal against Burnley in the Cup, where he just tucked it under the keeper.
The technique.
There is a little bit of feedback coming off your mic, Aidan, just so you know. I think it might be coming from your computer.
Give me 1 second, guys.
There we go. Technical difficulties. Yeah, I thought he was knocking it on to try and go round the keeper or over the keeper and try and get back to him. But no, it was just a shot on goal and it was perfect. And
ice cold.
Yeah, we could have a little bit of them reboundy goals he got against Leipzig. But at the end of the day, you've got to be in the right position. You look at Weghorst going and missing from 1 yard out against Betis the other day. There's being in the right place and then there's being able to finish it.
Yeah.
So
and he does both perfectly.
Yeah.
It's just I don't think I've seen anyone like him.
The Prem hasn't seen anyone like him, I don't think.
No, they haven't.
It's
like he I think he's going to break so many records.
How many Premier League goals has he got? Do you know, Andy?
28 last time I looked.
Yes.
And they've not played the Prem game since. I believe it is 28.
It's 42 in all comps, but 28 in the league.
So the record is, correct me if I'm wrong, 34?
33 by Salah, I believe, because it was 32.
Mm-hmm.
Could be wrong.
Yeah, but he's 4 or 5 away from it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And he's got 11 games left.
It's 34 it's Alan Shearer and Andy Cole.
34. So 6 away.
Is it? I thought Salah broke the record. I thought Salah broke the record.
Not if he got 33, he didn't.
I thought Salah broke a record. Was it the year they won the league?
I don't know. It might have been in all comps.
Yeah, it might, unless it was like Liverpool's top goal scorer for a season.
Just to think, that's only 6 goals and he's averaging 8 a week.
8 a week.
Yeah.
Who averages 8 goals a week?
He did have a little bit of a sort of downturn in form where Man City was still winning, but he wasn't scoring. So he can have weeks where he doesn't score, but when he's finding the net, he's finding the net. And I think we do have to say, right, okay, it was Burnley. Probably expected a bit more from Burnley. Leipzig, no idea what happened with Leipzig, but they're not going to be playing teams like that again. I have no doubts that he's going to break that record. But,
yeah, honestly, I don't think whoever he comes up against, I don't think it matters who you are. He will bully you, and he will do what he can, and he will score.
Do you think he is that good, or do you think the team is built that well to feed him?
No, because they don't play to his strengths, do they? Everyone's been saying about it.
Yeah.
Like, you look at what they've had before, because they're so used to playing like Kevin De Bruyne in that role for the past season. They've always wanted De Bruyne to get the ball in that central area, hold up the ball, play the ball. Haaland doesn't do that. Haaland doesn't come deep enough. He doesn't get the ball enough. He always runs beyond the line, so they've had to adapt to him. And I think that's what they've done.
Yeah, Joe says to stop him, just needs wind and hit him like a bus every time. Mate, honestly, but I've seen people try it and come out worse off. Closest to him, Nistelrooy, twice as stronger, twice as faster. Van Nistelrooy was a demon, but I don't think you can compare him to Haaland. Haaland's just a different animal, mate, honestly.
Yeah, Haaland is just a different breed, mate. It's scary because he's just going to get more and more used to the Premier League, and he's going to get better. Then he's going to hit his peak form, and it's just going to be carnage.
I think the only thing that will stop him, he will get if he gets an injury at some point, which could happen, or if he gets a transfer, that's the only way we're getting away from Haaland.
Imagine how much they're going to have to pay for Haaland, though. It's going to be... Because Man City are not letting Haaland go for 100 million.
Money...
Not a chance.
It's the same as Real Madrid wanting Mbappe. Like, they could just take him. They could offer all the money in the world, but what is that money to them? They don't need it.
Yeah, well, Mbappe can go for like £2 if he wants. He controls the transfers.
It's just all about what Haaland wants to do.
Yeah.
I can see if they don't get a Champions League in the next couple of years, that's where his eyes are.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
So
I see Haaland as like a Zlatan Mark II. I think he wants to tour Europe. I don't think he's a one club guy.
You're right.
And I think that give it 2 years, I don't think he'll be in the Premier anymore. He'll be at Real Madrid without a doubt.
Yeah. I wouldn't even blame him, because imagine if he can go. Yeah, I've done it in Germany.
Yeah.
Done it in. Well, he's not done it in Germany yet, but he might go back.
Mm-hmm.
France, Italy, Spain. Just go. Yeah, I've completed it. Done it in England. Won the Champions League everywhere. Won all the league titles, all the cups. You go, yeah, I'm the best player ever. Won the Ballon d'Or a few times, because I'm pretty certain he's going to.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he never wins the Ballon d'Or. And then, knowing him, he'll probably carry Norway into the Euros finals or some shit.
I don't know. I think Sean will have something to say about that.
Odegaard.
Oh, yeah. What a link up that. Oh, my God. That's the right link up.
I think you're both overlooking Josh King, but anyway.
Oh, yeah, the legend.
Joe says, here's
Josh
a question
King.
for you. I like this question. Do you think Klopp has won enough with Liverpool side to warrant being God status there?
No. And I'll tell you as for why. Because in the same period of time that Klopp came, Chelsea have won the exact same number of trophies plus a Champions League. No, plus a Europa League, sorry.
It sounded like Uncle Bryn, and I'll tell you for why.
I'll tell you as for why. So, and you look at Chelsea and nobody's gone, wow, what a great period of time Chelsea have had in those 7 or 8 years, or however long Klopp's been here. But everybody looks at Klopp and goes, what an amazing job.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
I get that. I think God status is a bit too far, but I think the status that he has, like where when he goes and loses to Bournemouth and goes and loses to Fulham and goes and loses to Forest and gets knocked out of the Champions League to Real Madrid, that people shouldn't be saying Klopp out or this, that and the other, because he has...
Oh, no.
He has completely rebuilt that team. He's won, 2 Prems, Champions League, Cups, FA Cup, I believe he's won. I think he's done enough. What?
They win 2 Prems?
They did win 2. They did win 2, didn't they?
I thought they won a COVID one, and then and that was it, because Man City won it last season, didn't they? How many?
A COVID one?
Yeah, they won it during COVID, didn't they? And then
the COVID one.
So yeah, they won it. They weren't allowed to celebrate. They couldn't lift their trophy in front of their fans.
Oh no, I thought they'd won 2.
I don't know.
I don't think they did. I could be
wrong.
wrong.
No, you're right. Yeah, sorry. It was.
Joe says it's 1 Champions League and 1 Prem.
What was it? Was it the one where they got 99 points? It must have been the one where they got 99 points then, and they went on about it.
Yeah, Man City fucking ended up on 101 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you. But I think to turn Liverpool into... Okay. Liverpool fans said one of their most successful eras ever. They got carried away by saying, like, comparing them to the 99 treble squad and the best teams that the Prem's seen. But he's turned them around. He's transformed them into winning things. So he does deserve the time, but
yeah. He's got enough Klopp in the bank, hasn't he? He deserves to go on his own terms, I think.
Yeah,
I think he's done enough, and he like Andy said, like what he's done for the club from where they were before he came. They were a struggling side, and he's completely revamped them. Obviously, they're not having the best season now, but you still look at them and they're pretty close to that top 4, which they'd probably be happy with. Going, oh yeah, we've had a poor season, but we still got Champions League.
He is the longest serving manager in the Prem at the moment as well.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
How long has he been there?
7 years or so, because wasn't they saying it's a 7-year curse for
It-
Klopp or something?
It's his 8th year. It's always his 8th year or something, I believe.
Yeah, so
This will be his 8th season.
He had to win 7-0 in his 7th year to break the curse, and he's done it.
Yeah. Nice way of slipping that in there.
Yeah, we're never too far away from a 7-0 reference.
Yeah.
My favourite.
He's won everything, hasn't he, though?
I'm sure he's won an FA Cup. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, he has. He's won FA Cup, Carabao, Community Shield, Premier League, and Champions League. He's done all of them.
Club World Cup.
He's done that as well.
Yeah.
And he did the European Super Cup. They beat Chelsea because Tammy Abraham missed that penalty.
My favourite thing about Klopp is when the camera pans to him and he's like deadpan off into a different direction and he's like full of teeth and he's just smiling at absolutely nothing with that.
Excuse me. Leicester is only short of a Champions League in the same time as Klopp.
And an FA Cup and a Carabao and a Community Shield.
They won the FA Cup against Chelsea, didn't they? In the final.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Was it last year or the year before?
Fucking hate Leicester.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's comparable, though, is it? Like, Leicester's only short of a Champions League. They played in it and got knocked out of it quickly. Didn't they get through the round of 16, Leicester, and then got knocked out?
I think they made it past the round of 16.
Yeah.
Oh, they got it. Sorry, yeah.
But
yeah.
Then it's the sort of continuation after that. I think, 99 points in the Prem, another Champions League final, an FA Cup.
Yeah. He's been pretty consistent, hasn't he, his whole time there, apart from this one season.
I think as a fan of a big team, you have to consider when you are being spoiled, and Man City are being spoiled right now, apart from obviously a Champions League, of just winning trophies after trophies. But I think Liverpool aren't in a position to say about Klopp being out. I think, like exactly like Sean said, it's on his terms to go.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It just depends the direction of the club as well. I don't know what they're going to do. Because they're not selling now, are they? They just want investment. FGS.
Yeah, I think, if they get investment, maybe they can start investing in some younger players. Start sorting that team out a little bit.
Get some midfielders.
That's all they need. Personally, I think that is all they need now. Forwards are sorted. Everywhere else is fine. Just sort that midfield out. Strengthen it a little bit. Help Fabinho out a little bit. Because his legs are going to be knackered soon running around everywhere.
Okay, moving on. We'll quickly finish up the Champions League segment. I was on the subject of Man City. They were drawn against Bayern Munich, who have today lost their spot at the top of the Bundesliga. Still arguably one of the favourites to win. On the same side of their draw, Real Madrid-Chelsea, another favourite you could argue. AC Milan versus Napoli, Benfica versus Inter on the other side of the draw. What are the most likely outcomes for you, do you think? Do you think it's going to be a semi-final of Chelsea-Man City, Chelsea-Bayern, Bayern-Real, or Bayern and Chelsea?
I think City-Chelsea will play.
City-Chelsea?
City and Chelsea, they're on the same side of the... I think that City will beat Real Madrid. I genuinely do.
And you think Chelsea will beat Madrid?
Chelsea will beat Madrid, and I think that City will beat Bayern, yeah.
Hang on. Real Madrid. Chelsea.
Real Madrid. Honestly, I've seen something in Chelsea's team that they just seem to be ticking now. Enzo Fernandez has found his feet. I think that it's just starting to tick really nicely for them at the moment.
Yeah, that
nice
2-2 against Everton's really starting to tick.
But they looked really good in that game. I honestly think that they will win they're going to fucking win the Champions League.
No, I don't know about that. City, maybe. City, I could.
That is
yeah.
Ben says big shout. That is a big shout.
Yeah, it is a big shout. But strange things happen in the world of football.
We'll come back to it in a couple of weeks' time.
Real Madrid are flying. They're going Liverpool, what is it, a 5-2 hammering, 6-2 on aggregate.
Yeah.
And then what are they, top of the league, aren't they?
Who?
And I'm pretty sure...
Who?
Real Madrid.
No, Barcelona are like
No,
9 points
Barcelona.
clear. They're playing as we speak.
Yeah, they're currently winning 2-1.
Barcelona are top of the league.
Yeah, and they're winning 2. They're
2-1.
losing 2-1,
Yeah.
so they're only
Losing
6
2-1.
points clear.
Oh shit! I thought Real Madrid were top of the league.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anywho,
Real Madrid in the Champions League compared to them in the league is different gravy because we brushed past Barcelona.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
That is a big shout. I'm sorry, but Real Madrid are going to fucking destroy Chelsea. I think it's going to be bent over, fully gaping.
Oh yeah.
I think the Man City Bayern one is a very tough one to call. I think if it was the final, I'd be saying Man City, but second leg at Bayern Munich, I think if Bayern are going to come to Man City and try and get a draw, and I think they've got it.
Interesting thing about Bayern Munich, I realised today, I think Fabrizio Romano put it on his either TikTok or Twitter or something. Bayern Munich are not paying a single penny for João Cancelo, not even his wages. He's not paying a loan fee or his wages at all.
Really?
Aren't they? Yeah, aren't they cancelling his loan?
No.
I saw someone that apparently they're on about sending him back to City.
Maybe at the end of the season. They can't do it midway through.
You can cancel a loan midway through.
Well, I'm sure if you're not paying anything, you can cancel it.
Well,
yeah.
Yes.
And,
I know you can,
yeah,
you
because
can
apparently he's not really playing that much.
Can't you?
Yeah, if it's in the agreement.
But
not paying a single penny for a player of João Cancelo's quality shows that there must have been a huge rift between Pep and Cancelo. Something major.
I mean,
because you just come out of nowhere as well.
There's been a good relationship between them anyway. When you think the likes of Sané has gone, they're the powerhouses, you could say, of the league at the minute. They're the ones that are winning the league. So yeah, maybe Man City will want a favour further down the line when it comes to, I don't know, Musiala or someone like that. Who knows?
Yeah, Upamecano.
It's a tough one to call, but that side of the draw is titans compared to the other. I mean, AC Milan, Napoli just running away with their game this weekend, 4-0. I think they won. Osimhen with another 2. Benfica, Inter, that's a kind of crazy one. One of them is guaranteed to be in the semi. I don't know why. I think Benfica win that.
I just seen that his Adrian 7-up for a subtle hint. No, I'm not. But it's just there.
What do you think, Benfica? 7-1 aggregate win over, I know it was Bruges, but Inter only managed a 1-0 aggregate over Porto, so.
I think, Benfica have got some good players. I don't know what's happened with Inter Milan. They've kind of fell off a little bit. I think Benfica like a Champions League as well, don't they? So I think it'd be nice to see Benfica go through, but I think it's going to be it's going to be one of them boring games, I think. I don't think it's going to be anything too exciting. It'll just be a little 1-0, and that'll be it.
A good one for the Napoli fans. Because, excuse me, I'm yawning so much today. I think it's a Napoli's route to the final. I think they've been handed a very friendly draw.
Yeah. It's like all the powerhouses are on the other side, aren't they?
That's it. Yeah, it'd be a good one to keep an eye on. Aiden, what do you think in terms of the other semi-final, the interesting one? Chelsea-Madrid?
I think Madrid's going to give Chelsea a good fucking hiding, to be honest. If I'm being honest, I don't know. I just can't see it. Like I said, you look at the 2-2 draw with Everton. I know they've had their turn in form, but 2-2 draw to Everton, then you've got to go deal with Real Madrid. We've got Vinicius, Benzema, and Rodrigo running it, with their middle three.
Yeah.
Of too many Camavinga and Modric or Cruz. It's just worrying.
Yeah, I know it's always a difficult one to say, like, what's best to have, the home leg first or the whatever, but Chelsea having the home leg second, I always think having the home leg second is the best, to be honest. Because away goals don't count anymore, but you do have an advantage immediately if it goes to extra time with the home crowd.
Yeah.
So Chelsea have got that, and that's why I think Bayern Munich have got the advantage. I think I'm probably going to make myself look stupid when Haaland scores 7 goals, but I think that's going to be the closest game out of all of them. the closest tie. I think, like you say, Chelsea get a hide in. I think Napoli do Milan over 2 legs. Benfica, Inter might be close as well, but I think that's probably... I'm not going to watch either of them games, to be honest. Neither of them teams interest me in the slightest. But yeah, Man City Munich, I think, will be close.
Yeah.
Europa League then. Quick match review from you, Sean, if you may.
Yeah, it was a really hard-fought game. We made a few too many rotations. Saliba and Tomiyasu got injured really early on, and from there, because they got injured in 2 different spells, it kind of restricts what subs you can bring on. And because I can't remember what the rules on subs are, but you've got, is it 4 windows or 5 windows for subs now?
You can make 5 substitutions, but on 3 occasions.
3 windows.
Yeah, so it really restricted what we can and could and couldn't do there.
Yeah.
And I don't rate Rob Holding. He was good today, but I think that the caliber of players we've got are better than him now, and it's probably time to let him go. And not that it was his fault for the goal, but there was a couple of moments where he invited too much pressure or didn't press forward when he probably should have done. I mean, that goal that that Sporting scored from just inside the half was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Really caught Ramsdale off guard, but we should have had enough. I mean, they got a red card really late on. We should have beaten them, but we didn't.
Yeah.
So we got 10 more cup finals left.
And I think, like you say, one of the most disappointing things to come from that is the fact that it had to go the full distance when if you're not going to make it through, it's kind of pointless, isn't it? But didn't affect you too much today, luckily. Like you say, even though Saliba was injured, it was a good fixture to come back to.
Mm-hmm.
The draw for that, then Man United. This is crazy. In a third round in a row, a Spanish team again in Sevilla. Obviously, we had Barcelona, Real Betis, Sociedad in the groups. So I'm sure that if we win this tie, that we win the La Liga somehow. I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
I'm sure we will. The opposite side of the draw from us, then. So our next fixture, if we get through, is Cristiano Ronaldo derby, Juventus and Sporting Lisbon. Opposite side, Feyenoord, Roma, Leverkusen and Union St. Gilles. So it could be a Mourinho final.
Oh, did St. Gilles knock out Berlin?
Mate, they put them to bed. It was 3-3 after the first leg. The home tie in Belgium, they won 3-0.
Oh my god!
So
I didn't even pay any attention to it. I was so distraught that we got knocked out.
The Europa dark horse in Union Berlin are out. Some people said to be worried about Roma, but if anyone I'm worried about is Feyenoord. They put 7 goals past Shakhtar. Ooh. It doesn't matter who you are and who you're playing against. Scoring 7 goals in a Europa League competition is something to be worried about. Yeah. I'm worried about the next round even. I'm not even thinking about the final at this stage. I'm thinking Sevilla, and currently, do you know where they sit in the table at the minute? Because I can tell you, and it'll probably surprise you.
Go for it.
14th.
I was going to say it's pretty low.
So Sevilla is always there or thereabouts, and last time we played them wasn't great. Sevilla, who are renowned for just winning the competition quite a lot.
Yeah.
Last time we played them, it finished. What was it? Just trying to find it now. 2-1. What was that? When Jules Koundé was still playing for them.
Oh yeah, they sold him to Barcelona now, haven't they?
Yeah. Because obviously Barcelona is skint, but managed to spend £500 billion somehow still.
Speaking of Barcelona, do you realise that they can't register? Is it Gavi or Pedri? One of the two. They can't register them as a professional player. He's still playing under an amateur contract because they have to shave €200 million off of the wage bill before they can register him.
Yeah.
So if he's on an amateur contract, that means you can still be signed on a free transfer on a pre-contract agreement.
Absolutely.
Holy shit!
So they agreed a new deal, and then La Liga said you can't do that. You need to trim your wage, and they appealed it, got the agreement from a court, and then the court backed the league to say yes, you have to shave 200. You need to knock 200 million euros a year off your wage bill before you can do this.
That's the
so any
Liga
club
rules,
can sign
isn't it?
Yeah, so any club can sign. I think it's Gavi. It's one of the two of them.
Yeah.
They're both.
Oh
much
my
the same.
god!
Yeah, Barcelona,
They
like
are
we spoke last
class
week,
as well.
they're just an absolute mess. And
Yeah.
why anyone would want to be there at this stage, I have no clue.
No.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. It's the last place you'd want to go.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's Gavi.
When it comes to Europa, I think Barcelona obviously never wanted to be there, but they're going to be back in the Champions League next season. That's probably their saving grace in terms of financials. But I don't know. I couldn't care less if Barcelona go bust. Doesn't interest me at all. There's obviously football in history and stuff, but when you allow a load of criminals to run your club, then what do you expect?
Yeah.
People were saying it's now Man United's Europa League to lose, but I think that's a very clever way of people saying having an excuse to rip into Man United should they get knocked out, because there's not easy games in this. Like, you never expected Sporting to do Arsenal over 2 legs. I know it went to extra time, but
they were a lot better than I thought they were going to be.
Juventus, don't let their league position fool you, because obviously they were deducted points as well. I think our only saving grace is that, you know, we've got 2 legs to play the harder teams as opposed to like a final. I don't know. I don't think it's in the bag for us. I think it's certainly a lot more winnable now that the likes of Arsenal are out. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of fixtures. We've got the FA Cup still to deal with as well. Brighton is the next game for us. Man City, Sheffield United. They're 2. A lot of games left to play. The stat that we found out today as well from watching the United game, Bruno Fernandes has played more minutes than any other player in Europe top 5 leagues, including goalkeepers. That's obviously just coming through the fact that they've been in all these competitions till the end, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, an incredible ode to
That's
his
still
injury
impressive.
record as well.
Yeah,
it's still pretty impressive. As much as I hate him, but
still a rat.
Still a rat, but very impressive. A very healthy rat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fit and well.
Yeah.
200 million isn't huge money.
Oh, what, a year?
That's what he said, 200 million. Who's that?
Yeah.
Gavi?
No. He's on 200 million a year is what they got to shave, so in their wages.
Oh, Barcelona's wages, yeah.
When you look at majority of what their wages will be, it probably shouldn't be that difficult.
Well, they've got most of their big players off the wages now. Messi, Griezmann. I think their highest earner is Frenkie de Jong. So, Man United.
Yeah, they've also got like, I don't know, because Ousmane Dembele, I think he's on a big wage.
Yeah.
Lewandowski.
Just to put it into perspective, if you got 600k a week at Barcelona, that's only 31 million a year, and I say that's only 31 million a year.
But that's 6 players of that you need to shave.
Oh, right, yeah.
600 grand a week.
Right.
If you're on 600 grand a week times 52, 31.2 million.
So what's the most average wage then? Would you say for someone at Barca? 200 grand a week? Would that be fair average, or would that be too high?
Yeah. So if you say 200 grand a week times 52, it's only 10.4 mil.
So 20 players on 200 grand a week need to go. That's not going to happen, is it?
No, they'll have to clear the club out.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to have to do. I think they have to just restart. Otherwise, they're in shit.
They're going to have to call up all their youth. Because you have to get rid of your biggest assets. That's Busquets. Busquets gone. Frenkie de Jong, Rafinha,
everyone.
Lewandowski,
Koundé,
Dembele.
Yeah, Koundé,
Dembele,
Arujo,
everyone.
Dembele, yeah. Basics.
Shit.
To Stegen.
Yeah.
He's a big asset.
Yeah, they're going to have to just restart the club all over again.
But I'm as much as this excites me, thinking this is going to be big and go down,
they'll find a way out of it.
I'm just going to say, last time there was in all these financial difficulties, they always managed to the saying was pull a financial lever, and they always used to manage to find money from somewhere. So it will happen again, I'm sure. Kirsty, welcome back for weekly education. Actually engaged in a conversation about football this week. Hey, it's progress, and we love to see it. So thank you very much for being here. I don't get how you can do that though, Joe. I wish I did, mate. How can Man City raise all that commercial revenue? You know, that's what they're being investigated for. It's just, it's a mess.
Mental. It is mental. Yeah.
Time will tell, I suppose. It's the season is drawing to a close, so more as that story as it develops. But yeah, that just about concludes that segment of the weekly cup games, unless there's anything glaringly obvious that I've missed.
I don't think so, mate.
West Ham drawing against Ghent or something in the Conference League that no one cares about.
I forgot the Conference League was even on, to be honest.
I don't even know if they're in it. I don't know who's in it.
I'll only be watching it if Villa get in it next year.
Which they could. You never know. Moving on then to a bit of a segment. We had some reaction on the TikTok about this. We had a little conversation about the Euro squad that's been selected for 2 games, Italy and Ukraine. Again, it seems that we find ourselves in a position where it's places for the boys. Gareth Southgate, yet again, picks his favourites. Now, I can completely understand. If you don't like the national team, that's fine. But we do. So this is why we're having this conversation. Yeah, mostly, if you want to see a lot more about this, we're going to be posting up some responses on the TikTok. So if you haven't followed us already, you can see just above my head, there it is, at the Pretend Pundits. Join the videos and follow us over there. I don't really care much for international breaks. Even if it is qualifiers, I will watch the games, but I'll normally only watch the first half, if I'm completely honest, or the second half, or if there's a player I'm particularly looking out for. I don't know where to start this conversation. Aidan, do you want to just start this conversation off? Because I don't really know how to feel about it. It obviously annoys me seeing players picked that I don't feel deserve to be there, but
I just think it's a fucking joke, mate, to be honest. Like, I can't mince my words on this. It infuriates me. Gareth Southgate infuriates the life out of me with how he picks his squads. I can't get my head around it. He comes out and he says all the time, I'll pick my players based on their form. I'll always pick my players based on their form. Fair enough, that's absolutely fine. He did this a couple of years ago when Grealish went to Villa. Pick players in form. Grealish, in the form of his life, goals, assists every week, never got picked. Mental. This now is just taking the absolute piss out of everyone. It is ridiculous. The fact that Harry Maguire's been picked, he's been warming up the bench for however many weeks. Yes, he's made the odd appearance. I think he played. Did he play tonight in the cup game?
He's played in both games since the squad was announced, but
of course
that's literally to cover it up. Like people who are a fan of Maguire can hide behind that because he wasn't playing. I watch every United game and he's not playing. No.
You've got Eric Dyer. How's he in there? Honestly, the players that have picked, Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher, he just picks his favourites every bastard time there's a squad announcement, and it's always the same people who don't deserve to be in there, and there's players who deserve to be in there who aren't getting picked. It could be their first England cap, they're not getting it because Southgate is too busy with his tongue fucking 3 inches deep up Mason Mount's arsehole, and players aren't getting the chances, and this is why England will never go anywhere, develop or win anything with Gareth Southgate as manager, because he's picking the same shit every year that never does anything, and he's picking players who are out of form just because he likes the look of their fucking face.
100%, mate.
I think it's spot on, yeah.
I can't really add any more to that, right? The thing about form, the worst thing about it is if you watch a lot of football, Southgate goes to loads of games, so it's not like he's not watching the games. But another point that was made was that does he take a focus off other leagues? So 2 players that we discussed was Balogun and Tomori.
Yeah,
we don't, certainly proclaim to know enough about these leagues, but he only doesn't. There was a time where he didn't pick Bellingham for a while, wasn't there? as when he was coming through at Dortmund. But I think now that he's made Bundesliga Team of the Year and the proper Team of the Year from FIFA, he has no choice.
He knows if he didn't pick Bellingham, mate, there'd be absolute uproar.
But absolutely.
There's Dyer, Maguire, Gallagher, Mount, Tony, as Joe's saying, pleads guilty to bet charges.
Yeah,
I don't know about the off the pitch stuff personally. I think if it's Mason Greenwood levels, then get them nowhere near this team. But if it's something like that, like if it's against the laws of FIFA, but it's not against the law. But he's picked Kyle Walker, who's been getting his knob out in bars.
Oh yeah, so, I see that.
I don't think off the field antics matter that much, but in the laws of the game, you're absolutely right. He's facing a ban, so
yeah, like he shouldn't be picked. Ivan Toney, like I've always backed Ivan Toney because he is one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Like his quality, he scores goals every week. There's no denying that. But like Joe says, due to his recent pleading guilty to betting charges on 260 odd games of football or sports, whatever. How can you sit there and go, "This is the man to represent our country at football"? You can't. Like,
and qualifiers are supposed to be the team that you kind of you practice with and you train with and you get ready for the competitions. The same with friendlies, but let's be realistic. Ivan Toney's not going to make the Euros because he's going to be banned from football.
Literally,
there is no way in this world that he does not get at least a 12-month ban.
Yeah. He's looking at a big hefty ban. He's not going to be playing football next season.
But is he even going to be playing in the qualifying games? Is he he's going to be on the bench, surely, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a backup.
But it's that team cohesion and gelling.
Being ready when called upon. So,
do you know what I mean?
Ollie Watkins, I would have called Ollie Watkins up. I would have called Balogun up and said, made him commit his international allegiance to England early on and gone, get your head down and you'll play this in these fixtures. But I think Ivan Toney is short-sighted considering his ban's coming in.
Do you think that might be a little bit of a sort of, because he didn't call him up for the World Cup, that he sort of tried to make up for it late and trying to get him a call up before he gets his ban?
Maybe. Has he played an international game yet?
I don't know.
Who's that?
Tony.
Ivan Toney.
I don't think he has.
I think he played one. Oh no, did he?
Did he play friendlies?
Yeah, so this might be him.
He hasn't.
This might be just admitting his international allegiance, so saying you have 12 months out of football because you betted on 260 odd games. But when you come back, we'll have a proper look at you. Maybe. Potentially,
but I think you can still change nationalities after 5 appearances, can't you? Or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I believe it's as soon as you make an appearance for the full squad, the senior squad. I think that's it.
Well, what about Laporte? Did he ever make appearances for France?
Nope.
Because he fully went back to Spain, didn't he?
Yeah, he was always youth. He played youth. It's the same with Jack Grealish. He played quite a few youth games for Ireland.
And Declan Rice as well. Yeah, that's right.
And Declan Rice, but neither for the senior squad. And then they both chose England.
Yeah, I think there's no other football, right? And I can completely understand the argument of if you don't like international football and because of its impact on your players, then that's fine. I think you could make a case as an Arsenal fan for not wanting Saka to be there because you'd rather he have rest and recuperation to push in the league.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to picking the best players, if Saka didn't get picked, you'd be like, well, he deserves to be there because he's one of the best attackers in the Prem. So I get that side, but you can't defend average players being there when others should be. When we haven't beaten Italy, I think it was since 2012. Ukraine is probably going to be an easier game, but it's still a European qualifier.
It still needs to be taken seriously, basically.
Yeah, Kirsty says my daughter loves Mason Mount probably for the same reason as Southgate, liking his face. This is what we said earlier on, that it's Jack Grealish, Mason Mount. They're very social media friendly guys, and that might be a big part of it, as well. If they're doing all these extra bits, Calvin Phillips as well as another one. I think
Calvin Phillips is a joke. That's an absolute fucking joke for me.
I can get on board a little bit more with the Calvin Phillips one, just because if Declan Rice is out, there's no one else to fill that position. But
he's the only natural replacement for Declan Rice, isn't he?
Yeah, but he hasn't played, and I don't know. I think you could give someone at least who's playing another chance.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would rather they should find someone who is playing. There is I can tell you now, there is an English holding midfielder in the league somewhere who's played more minutes than Calvin Phillips. That alone deserves more of a call-up than someone who's played 2 minutes all season.
That Eric Dyer?
No. It could be. Fucking, I'd prefer Eric Dyer to be another midfielder picked and Calvin dropped because Dyer's played, and then pull another centre-back in.
Probably
like Kamori, Mings.
Probably someone who's played at international level at under 21, maybe, that could make the step up.
Yeah, step up.
Here's a good question from Joe. Did James Ward-Prowse go? Ben White could play that quite nicely. There you go.
Yeah,
You've just said two players that should be in the squad, but were not.
Easily.
Ward-Prowse has played defensive midfield before, but he's definitely become more box-to-box, controlling the tempo of the game. And Ben White, I don't know what's going on with Ben White. I don't know if we've had a look into that or not, but Ben White left the World Cup, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
For reasons unknown. And that could play a part in it too.
But I mean, there's got to be a time. Like if it's what I believe we all think it is,
I don't think it's that at all.
You know,
the reason. So I think what you're trying to say is we don't have to try and cover things up here. Allegedly, Ben White is in the closet as a gay man, and didn't go to didn't go to Qatar because of their stance on gay rights.
He went, didn't he? But he said he felt threatened and he didn't feel safe, so he asked to come back.
For private reasons, he came back and then got his eyebrows threaded instead, didn't he?
Yeah.
But that wouldn't omit him from the team, would it? That would Gareth Southgate
that's what
wouldn't turn around and go, "Well, you left us in Qatar, so now I'm not picking you again." That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about Ben White. What you're saying could be true, but I'm saying that he wasn't not picked because of that reason.
Yeah, I don't think he's not been picked now because he left Qatar, whether it is for what we think or whatever it is. Because I still think, as an England manager, I think Southgate, in a sense, would probably still defend him and go, right, well, no, you're still going to play for us, you're a quality player. I understand why, if that's the reason, blah, blah, blah.
He might feel let down that he felt like he couldn't stay there. And maybe that's why he's not picking him in this, because he felt let down.
Yeah, but that's bullshit. If that's the case, Southgate's fucking more of a cock than I think he is anyway.
Another player that I'm thinking of, Sterling obviously didn't get picked this time around, but Sterling left Qatar to go home and deal with personal issues.
Yeah.
Still came back and played in the game against France over Marcus Rashford. Like, is he just trying to make up for errors that he made last time around? Where he should have taken Tony. Ben White should.
He's not doing a good job.
It's just, it seems like he's doing a lot of things very reactively, but late.
He's just doing everything wrong. He's doing everything wrong. The squad selection, you look at every post I've seen about this squad selection, everything is negative. I don't see anything positive about his choices on this squad selection.
I mean, we normally breeze through qualifiers anyway, but I think if I just pull up the group now, I believe they're our two hardest games.
Yeah, well, we say that, but you look at Italy, they won the Euros, went to the World Cup qualifiers, didn't even qualify for the World Cup. And this is the problem. We can't be complacent just going to Ukraine, that'll be fine.
Yeah. And we lost 4-0 to Hungary last year, didn't we?
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got to start looking at this and going, right, we need players who are in form.
Yeah. I mean, they did it with Jared Bowen last year, and I mean, I think he's really good for West Ham. He fits their style of play, but I don't think he's a very technical player. I don't think that he's the caliber of player that you want to represent at international level. And when I've seen him in an England shirt, he was rubbish. He really, really was rubbish. He just looked like a fish out of water. And I never want to see Jarrod Bowen in an England shirt ever again.
Yeah, he's not a bad player at all. But like you say, compared to what we've got, you just wouldn't have him, would you?
Never. No.
The other two teams in our group is Malta and North Macedonia. Now,
tough games.
Do you think there'd be as much uproar if they were the two games that we was playing instead of Italy-Ukraine? I still think it would.
Yeah. I think all qualifiers should be taken seriously.
Yeah. You should be looking at every qualifiers if you're going up against Brazil, France, Germany.
Yep.
You can't just go, it's Malta. Like, you can't. It's football. Everyone knows how football works. You could turn up to Malta and lose 1-0 in the last minute. It's the way it is. We need to start. Well, he needs to start putting his head out his arse and going, you know what? Mason Mount's got 1 assist in 20-odd appearances this season. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't be called up. Calvin Phillips, he's not played. Eric Dyer, they've bottled every game they play. He's not in the team. Like, come on. Like, at what point what does everyone else need to do? Ollie Watkins must be sat there going, fucking hell, like, what else can I do? Like, I'm scoring every week.
Mm-hmm.
James Ward-Prowse is thinking, fuck me, I'm single-handedly keeping Southampton up here, scoring goals every week, assists, working my arse off, and I'm not even getting picks. Like, all these players must be sat there going, you know what, I give up, because eventually they're just going to go, you know what, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't be arsed, because we know every week Mason Mount does nothing, but he's going to get picks. It's fucking stupid. Conor Gallagher is another one. He's not played, still picks. Baffles me.
I think we do need to give Southgate the praise where it's due. He's built a cohesion between this England squad, and described by many people as an atmosphere that was needed in the England camp. He has taken us to finals and semi-finals and so on, but I think that's his absolute limit. I think he might be worried about ruffling feathers if he makes too many changes. He probably sees these players, your Mount, Grealish and so on, as the players that kind of keep everyone together. Jordan Henderson as well could be another one. He's a captain sort of figure, isn't he? Maybe he's scared of undoing that bonding and team spirit.
But that shouldn't be the case.
I'm not saying it's right, but that's probably what it is.
No, I get where you're coming from, but it should be the case of you got Henderson, your captain, you got your manager. They need to make sure that team morale's working, no matter who's in that camp.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if you turn up to camp and go, "Where's Mason? Oh, he's not been picked." All right, no worries. But we've got James Ward-Prowse. Oh, let's make him feel a little bit welcome, shall we?
Yeah.
It seems though he's deserved this fucking call up. He should have had the past 5 years. Nice to see you, mate. Eventually. Oh.
It's a comparison I've made on a previous episode where I said he reminds me of Solskjaer in the sense that he doesn't want to upset anyone. He doesn't want to upset the boat, rock the boat in a sense. He wants to make sure that everyone's happy, and if everyone is happy, they'll play happy and play well. But I think you've got to be ruthless. Like, Solskjaer did some good things. Like, that's something I'll always hold Ollie in high regard for. His love for the club, how he got the sort of the spirits up again. He sort of helped lay the foundations to getting the toxic players away from Man United. But tactically, as a manager, he wasn't good enough to take us over the edge, losing finals, going to semi-final after semi-final and not getting anywhere and losing the final. So there'll always be that comparison. He's done good things, but his time's up. I think if we want to be winning things, if we want to be serial winners in England, we've got the players to do it. So
I think this is probably his last major tournament, to be honest. If he doesn't do anything major, final minimum, it's got to be for him. Otherwise, that's him done, surely.
Yeah, final minimum. You're absolutely spot on there.
Yeah, and if it's team cohesion they want, just go bowling instead of taking Mason Mount.
Yeah, go do stuff while you're away. Literally, when you're away, we're away for a week, 2 weeks with the squad. Should we go do some activities? Yeah. Let's all get
bowling, or
do stuff like that. Don't go. Oh, we're gonna have to have Mason Mount here. He's shit, but he's alive. He can do a TikTok video. Do you know what I mean?
He dances on TikTok with Amelia de Molenberg. So
yeah, He'll be on BT Sport fucking advert or something, doing some kind of fucking water challenge. So it's fine. Fuck off. Get him fucked off. Piss off and get James Ward-Prowse in there.
Yep.
And Ollie Watkins.
Get some ugly Brexit bastard in there instead.
Fucking hell.
Where's John Joe Shelby?
Literally, get some fucking... Oh. God, I'd love to be manager of England for a week. They'd fucking hate me.
Oh, what's that film with... Mike? Is it Mike Bassett?
Yeah.
Get Mike Bassett in. Right, enough ranting about England. We've done enough. We're going to continue to post video replies and our thoughts on the England squad in the lead up to the game on TikTok, as I said before. Final segment of the night then. A bad week for managers. Obviously pictured is Patrick Vieira. Kick us off with this, Sean. I think one thing that we sort of both picked up on, you mentioned earlier, was what Vincent Kompany had to say. I don't really know why Vincent Kompany was weighing in on this anyway, but he made a good point.
Yeah, so Vincent Kompany and Patrick Vieira used to play together at Man City, and it was just a show of solidarity. And because they were just about to play Man City, they asked him about it. And yeah, you look at the players, the teams that Crystal Palace have played recently, they're all top half teams, and realistically, Crystal Palace are probably the best of the rest. They're probably like mid-table. They should be where maybe Everton, not Everton, they are where Everton are. Where Aston Villa are, for example. I think so. But they've got the lower half of the table games to come. They've got Leeds, they've got Southampton, they've, I think, got Everton. So those games are coming that they should realistically win games. And then their true position will be shown on the table. I think it's too premature. I agree with Vincent Kompany wholeheartedly, I think. And today, I mean, they were spineless. I don't know whether they're spineless because they lost Vieira or they're spineless because that's really what they are. Who knows?
Yeah. I think one of the key phrases he said there was about a team that lacks resources and how well you can do to manage a team with no resources. They are right, because Crystal Palace don't invest. They do get these players in, you know, your Eze's and your so on. They do invest in these young up and coming players, mostly from London, but they don't strike me as a team that has much more aspirations other to finish top half. And I think Vieira hasn't really done anything wrong. So I can see it from that side when you're under-resourced. But when you go 3 games in a row without a shot on target, that's not acceptable, is it?
No.
Especially when you've got some attacking players. To lose the games, I can accept that. But to go against without a shot on target, that's poor. And someone has to pay the price for it. And unfortunately, it was Vieira. I mean, Vieira's an Arsenal legend. He's one of the greatest players of all time. But that doesn't excuse you. I don't know exactly what is going to happen. Like, I think he was also annoyed about the people that made the decision didn't really come out and acknowledge it as much. Sort of a face board.
There's talks of Roy Hodgson taking over, which at 75 years old, could he really do a better job than Patrick Vieira? I don't think he could.
That is
maybe defensively. Decision. But it may be defensively because Roy Hodgson was a defensive coach, but that's not their problem. It's not the defence that's the problem. It's the strikers that are feeding off of scraps. It's their strikers. Zaha looks like he's clocked out. He doesn't want to be there, and everything that they used to channel through them now, through Zaha, is not being channeled through him at the moment. It's their strikers that have got the issue. I don't think Roy Hodgson does anything different that Vieira couldn't have done.
No, I agree fully. And Joe's saying issue with Palace and Maverick Zaha is too busy thinking about his Saudi move. I think he could make it in the Prem, but he's stuck around them through thick and thin, even when they've had like a fairly respectable squad. I don't know. I don't see him staying beyond his contract in the summer.
No, he's done with Palace.
Southgate did single-handedly raise the waistcoat sales in 2018 by 35%.
Absolutely did, yeah.
That was quite funny, actually, yeah.
We've all got a waistcoat, haven't we? Because of Gareth Southgate.
Well, I got one because I'm married, but... Sorry, Palace. Yeah, they're just poor. They're under-resourced. Roy Hodgson will probably deliver us some memes. I really enjoyed the memes that he created as an England manager. Just his reactions on the touchline. I feel bad for him because he seems like such a nice bloke, and when he retired, he got a lovely send off. And I thought, even like in the nicest possible way, you're an old man now. Go and enjoy your last years, not stressing week in week out about a relegation battle. And now he's chucking himself back into it.
He looks like he would have a nap doing a Sudoku on the bench, doesn't he? He looks like in his cream jumpet.
Leave Hodge alone, the poor bloke. I understand it. It's just like he reminds me of that guy that he would just do. The guy that would come and pick you up at 3 a.m. just because he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
even though it's a complete and utter inconvenience, they'd still do it. And I don't know. I don't like that. I think there's managers available that could take it. I can't.
Yeah, I don't. I think if he has to come back into a relegation battle, mate, the stress will just tip him over the edge.
Yeah, he got Watford relegated, didn't he, last season?
Yeah, he just needs to go. You know what? I've done my time in football. I'm just going to enjoy my retirement. I'm going to go on a cruise around the world, and I'll watch the football, and I'll just enjoy it. I don't need to be fucking going to Craven Cottage at the weekend.
So this is an ode to you, Roy Hodgson. Don't think about it. Get your fucking slippers on. Get your pipe. Just go and have a good time. Don't worry about this bullshit in the Premier League, mate. You don't need the stress.
Yeah. Do what old people do and get early bird lunches, put your slippers on, and get that white stuff in the corners of your mouth that old people get.
Go and queue outside Aldi half an hour before it opens because you'll miss the middle aisle deals. Just
drive in rush hour.
And another manager that's had a bad week, Conte.
I love that.
An absolute meltdown on Saturday afternoon.
He's had an awful weekend.
I can understand why he was annoyed about the result, but he kind of didn't talk about the result. He just kind of went in on the players and the club, and he said he knows football. And he actually, just before we went live, there was something that come out from Sky Sports saying that he's clarified to the Tottenham board that his rant wasn't about the board or the club, it was solely about the players, which
is bollocks.
Yeah,
it's a load of rubbish.
Even if that was true, which, like you say, is very clearly not true, that's even worse because as a Tottenham player, you're going, okay, so he's just happy to dig us out now, is he?
Yeah.
But he's not wrong. He isn't wrong. That's the best thing about all of this. Is what he said. He isn't wrong. He's a winner. He's a serial winner, and he's probably looking at this going, "What the hell is this Spurs club all about? They've had the best managers. Yeah. They've had Poch, Mourinho. They've invested all this money. They've been able to recruit really, really well on the surface of things.
Yeah,
and we just can't do anything. We just can't.
Yeah, like the players they've been able to bring in." The players they've had at their club, the managers they've had, is absolutely right. Like, it's an absolute joke that they've not won anything. They've got Harry Kane, who's arguably one of the best strikers of the Premier League history, easily. Heung-min Son, class. They brought in so many good players. And Ndombele ruined him. Davinson Sanchez, all these players, and yet somehow there's something going on that they just can't. It's like they walk into they're winners, then they step into Tottenham and go, I'm going to bottle a game every weekend.
No one's really firing now, though, are they? Like, Son isn't firing. No, Richarlison isn't scoring. They've got an awful-looking defence who are just not disciplined.
It's diabolical.
But I don't know.
But I don't think Conte. And I think what he did was a bit stupid. And now he's trying to probably keep his job, even though we all kind of thought maybe that's him trying to get out of there. But I think team morale now is taking a big fucking hit, and this is not going to go well. I think some of the players might even go, you know what, fuck you, Conte, watch this. We've still got a contract, mate. We won't get sacked. We'll get sold to another club, but fuck you, you'll get sacked.
Yeah, they are still in the top four as it stands, but Newcastle and Liverpool both got games in hand on them. Liverpool 6 points behind, Newcastle 2 points behind, so it could go wrong for them. they're not exactly looking at a bad run of fixtures at the minute. Everton away could be tough. Brighton at home, Bournemouth at home, Newcastle away, United at home, Liverpool. That little run there, Newcastle, United, Liverpool.
Yeah, that's a decider, I think.
But then they've got Palace, Villa, Brentford, Leeds. So it kind of...
That's not a great run, though.
A few easy games, a few hard games, and then a middle-ish run. Like Palace, they should beat at home. Villa away, they could very easily drop points. Brentford at home. Leeds away, who might be still in a relegation battle at this point.
That's the thing. Everyone's fighting for something at this stage of the league now. Everyone's battling either for the title, top four, a European slot, whether it's conference or even like the top half finish. Like Villa are fighting for that top half. They want top half. You've got the relegation battle. There's so many teams down the relegation dogfight now. Mm-hmm. At this late stage, it is mental. It's very rare this happens. There's so many in this fight. So any fixture you're coming up against now, everyone's fighting for something. So I don't think any game could be taken like, oh yeah, it's an easy 3 points, or oh, we'll turn them over.
You're right.
It's this end of the season is going to be quite interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, table flipping, and whew.
Like we said, you've got the two at the top fighting for the league. Then you've got a block fighting for top four, a block fighting for Europe, and then a relegation block, right?
Yeah.
Tottenham, I think we give them a lot of stick on this channel. Obviously, Sean hates them.
Rightfully so.
I think that it's just funny because they do Spursy things. You look at their recruitment, though. Their recruitment has been so good. Like, I was actually jealous of them in the summer, you know, when they're getting the likes of Kulusevski and Bentancur, that Pedro Porro they've just got in, a very, you know, good right backs are few and far between. He scored an absolute belter of a goal as well, I have to say, at the weekend. He looks a good player, but it's just realistically, right? I just wanted to say something nice about Spurs before I go back in on them. Realistically, why would they want top four when their chances of winning the Champions League are minimal?
Finance,
isn't it?
Yeah, they've just got this new stadium. It's when Arsenal built the Emirates, we had to be in Europe for, I think it's 8 out of 10 years to pay back the loan that we had out to buy the stadium. They will have something else. I think, was it £1 billion stadium, and it was originally quoted at 600,000. Sorry, 600 million.
I don't know, but
yeah, it's a very expensive stadium.
It went massively over budget.
I know it went over time by a lot. I didn't realise it went over budget so badly.
Yeah, because there's like this fancy turf, didn't they, that extracts away in under the ground and into the stands, and obviously they've got the old NFL
extracts water away
pitches.
Yeah,
literally.
Morale.
Yeah, everything. Fucking everything.
Morale.
But yeah, I don't know what it is about the club. I feel like we talk about Tottenham a lot, but I think it's just because there's something new every week with them. And now this Conte thing is just another twist in the beautiful tale that is Tottenham.
Yeah, it's never a surprise, but it's just they have that little run of, they might be getting back in the top four. Oh, they've bottled it again.
Yeah.
Oh, they could do something in the Champions League. Oh, they've bottled it again. It's just...
I saw it was 3-1. I was like, Tottenham won this against Southampton. Looked again, 3-3. Conte's kicking off. I was like, oh dear. Tottenham have done it again.
Yeah, I just realised that in the FA Cup segment, we didn't really talk about the United game at all. But I think we can cover it in this Bad Week for Managers segment because
yes, we can.
Fulham got 3 red cards in about as many minutes. The first of which went to the manager, Marco Silva.
Yep.
I've spoke about it. I've done a TikTok about it. We've spoke about it. Probably everyone's already spoken about it at this stage. But that was probably the biggest meltdown I've ever seen. I can't think of anything comparable to that. So for anyone who hasn't seen this, right, Man United won 3-1 in the FA Cup today. I should be sitting here saying, how the fuck did we lose to Fulham? Fulham had complete control of this game from start to finish. They had the best chances. De Gea was the only reason that game wasn't dead and buried. It should have been 3-0 at the point that this incident kicked off, but it wasn't. It was 1-0. No replays in the FA Cup, so it would have gone to extra time and penalties. United get their second good chance of the game after 70 minutes. Fulham already 1-0 up at this point. Sancho has a shot, takes a little bit longer than usual. Willian, who was the player of the match until this point, puts his hand out to save it from going in. As the referee goes to check the screen for VAR, Marco Silva is bolting over to him and just immediately gets a red because the fourth official has already told him to get sent off. He sees the decision, he sees the save, gives Willian a red card, gets shoved by Mitrovic, who then also gets a red card. So they're down to 9 men with a penalty conceded, and they just completely collapse in on themselves. And it was glorious. It was fucking glorious. I didn't know what to say. I was speechless. I couldn't believe what was happening. I was giggling like a little girl. It was crazy. They handed us that tie without a doubt. I think even at 1-1 with 10 men, they could have done something. But with 9 men, there was not a chance.
Yes.
Yeah, it's...
Where do you stand on Mitrovic pushing the officials? Do you think any time you push the official, it should be a straight red card?
I know where you're going with this. I know exactly where you're going with this, and
I know where he's going with this
you're
now.
going to go to the Bruno
linesman push.
So
yeah.
I'm going to answer that question. If the official puts the hands on the player first, then they have every right to put their hands back to the official. Now,
is that what happened in that one?
That is exactly what happened. When Bruno was trying to get the ball back, I can't remember who had it. Bruno was trying to get the ball back from someone. Was it it was a Liverpool game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, let's just run it back to that 7-0 loss.
So he tried to get someone kicked it out, and he tried to get the ball off of them. And as he was approaching the player, the linesman held him and put his arm out in front of him and stopped him. And Bruno's like, "You can't do that, mate. You can't just restrain me." So I don't know. It was soft, but I think it was a combination of what Mitrovic said, because he was right in his face, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So it was the way he was in his face and just following him directly, like close to his face.
Even after the red card, he didn't move. But I'm not being funny.
You wouldn't leave him alone, would he?
If I had a fucking
he'd been red carded, you followed him. I was like, what's going on?
If I had Mitrovic or any fucking angry Serb in my face like that, to be fair, I'd probably give him a brown card because I'd be shitting myself.
It took Luis Morte to come and fucking drag him off the pitch, didn't it?
It did, and mate, it was just a complete meltdown. But Mitrovic,
shocking.
He knows, but he's been around long enough. He's not stupid. I mean, like Darwin Núñez getting sent off for a headbutt in his first few games. You know, okay, you can understand that. Felix getting used to these English games, but Mitrovic has been around long enough to know that that is the stupidest thing he could do.
Yeah, he's always been a bit of a loose cannon, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
but I think that's just like a whole new level for him.
Who were the pundits on that game? It was Roy Keane, a lady I can't remember, and someone else. Who was it? Ian Wright. Ian Wright made one of the best points I've ever seen made. He said Mitrovic probably cost them that game. However, what can Marco Silva say to him about getting a red card when he's got a red card before him?
Yeah,
yeah, it's true.
That wasn't like sometimes when a manager gets angry because a decision's gone really badly against them, I can sort of relate to that a little bit. But I don't know. When the decision was completely 100% right, I mean, you saw the handball. Why are you getting a red card for a decision that's completely right? And he hadn't even made the decision yet.
Yeah,
it was strange.
He's obviously said something that the fourth officials heard him.
Yeah,
and gone. Yeah, get rid of him, mate.
Yeah, there was.
He's good in fear.
Yeah, it's a strange one. It's a real strange one. A massive lack of discipline. But I have no problem now admitting that I think VAR's done a good job.
Yeah.
Today they've probably got it right for a change.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. exactly that, and I think it's a real tarnishment for Marco Silva. We've spoke quite highly about Fulham this season. I think that could put a sort of, I don't know,
blotch.
Yeah, it could. They might fall off a little bit after that. Like the record of teams after getting knocked out from cups isn't great. I think Mitrovic now faces a 3-game ban, and because it's domestic, that will apply to the league. But here's what I don't understand: Willian got a straight red, but he's only going to get a 1-match ban because it wasn't a violent. It wasn't a violent challenge.
Well, I think Mitrovic will be lucky to not get an extended ban on that as well. 'Cause, you should never lay your hands on an official, linesman or not.
Yeah, I think,
and especially getting in his face, following him, pointing him, shouting in his face.
Yeah,
that's too much.
I think you're spot on. I think I've already seen it on TikTok. People saying about the Bruno Fernandes thing. I think that's farcical. I think when it comes into full context, it makes more sense. But
yeah.
But yeah, what?
So does that mean they're without William, the manager, and
so I think it's
Mitrovic now for the next couple of games?
I think it'll be a 1-match touchline ban for Marco Silva, 1-game ban for Willian, and 3, if not more, for Mitrovic.
That's a big loss there for Fulham.
It is.
Well, Mitrovic, you lose your goals. I mean, Solomon is scoring. I think another shout out to Boa Morte, who had to take control of that game. Made the craziest 4 substitutions at once in the 80th minute you've ever seen to try and rescue some. I think he brought on Dan James, Solomon, was it Kearney as well? He just went, fuck it. Let's see what happens. If we get to extra time, we're probably going to lose this anyway. But yeah, against 9 men, United just held the ball and it was done. It was done after the penalty, to be fair, anyway. So, but lessons to be learnt for United, I think. Brighton, it's going to be at Wembley, so that's a bit of a saving grace. Neutral ground for both games, but Brighton are just playing unbelievably at the minute. 5-0 they won today. I know it was Grimsby, but
still 5-0, isn't it? You're always happy with the 5-0 win, no matter who it's against.
Yeah, good few goals in that game as well. Sean Ferguson, that youngster, the second goal for Brighton. If you get a chance to look at that, by all means do, because it was bloody good. And I think, again, please tell me if I've missed anything glaringly obvious, but I think that just about wraps us up for the day, boys.
I believe so, mate. I don't think there's anything we've missed.
So, I just saw the time, and I'm like, oh my God, is that the time on a school night? What are we doing? But there's been a lot to talk about. It's been really good, boys.
Big week.
Next week we will be back. Disappointingly, though, it's going to be a international break, which I will try and watch as much as I can, but I don't have the greatest love for the games. I'll probably watch Italy and miss Ukraine. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'm a pretend pundit. I don't do this for a living, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
So, everyone who came along today, Joe, Kirsty, Ben, and if I missed you, I do apologise. Paulina, Crazy Paulina also. Thank you for coming and watching, getting involved with the discussion. If you've got any more ideas and things that you want to see us discuss, whether it's in a video, on the stream, or on TikTok, by all means, let us know too. If you haven't checked out our socials, please do so. You can find all the links to our socials, either for the pundits or individually, in the description of this video. And if you haven't done so yet, please like the video. It does help us out massively too. I believe we're on 114 subscribers, so that's massive. We are growing by the week. So thank you very much for everyone who's helped us get to where we are now. We're going to continue to push more content out and keep doing this because we fucking love it.
I'm right.
And we'll see you same time next week for the podcast. Keep an eye out on Wednesday for the new video that's coming out. And see you again soon. Cheers, boys.
Bye, guys.
I can hear the shadows in your mind, and the sound best friend for